It's okay to say no to people. It's okay if I have, a birthday dinner for my family to not take this client to see a house.
Right.
And if they decide to go somewhere else while they're waiting for me, then that's fine. You can't have every single person as a client.
Hey out there, thank you so much for joining us this week on Business Gold, a business leader's journey. This week, we've got Brooke Braswell. She's a realtor here in Sumter, and she does a fantastic job of getting out and working in the community. She has incredible stories to share with us, so let's go ahead and turn it over to Jen.
Hello guys, and welcome to Business Gold, a business leader's journey. Super excited about our guest today. So Brooke Braswell is with ReMax, and she has so much to share with us about not just business, but about things that are going on around the community and how we can get involved as well. So Brooke, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm honored you asked me to come.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So you are like everywhere in this community.
Yeah, I try to be.
You're hard to find, you're hard to track down, but once you get connected with you, you are a wealth of information.
Yes, I try to be. That's my favorite part of my job, is providing knowledge to people.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite thing that you do? We all know that you work for ReMax. You're an agent. But there is like some pretty specific things that are going on in your life with that are special. Talk to me about them.
Yes. So aside from being in normal real estate with ReMax, I work for Great Southern Homes, so a new construction company here in Sumter.
Yeah.
And so with that, I get to not only sell the houses that they build, I get to actually build them.
What?
So I get to find land and present it to them and just show them comps, and then they decide if they want to build there. And if we do, I get that neighborhood. Then it goes further than that. I get to pick every floor plan. I get to build each one of them, pick out the cabinets, the granite, the flooring.
You're a designer as well as a real estate agent.
It's so fulfilling. Like, I get to see dirt all the way to a finished house and know that I picked it out.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You are like have a deep connection with all kinds of parts of Sumter like that. Like you can be driving down the road and be like, I built that house.
Yes. Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's so cool. Probably my favorite thing is there are neighborhoods that I built every single house in the entire neighborhood and sold every house. So I can drive through and say, I built every one of these houses and I sold them.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how many developments have you done so far?
Several. I mean, we have over 10 different neighborhoods in all of Sumter. There are different realtors that work at different ones.
Right.
And sometimes we move around. But my most recent project is Southbridge, and that is what I'm really into right now. It's a new neighborhood on McCrae's Mill Road. We're going to have 450 plus homes.
Wow.
Yes. So it's very different than anything we've ever done before. We're going to have a community pool, cabana, picnic area. There's multiple ponds, so lots of amenities.
And you are planning all that.
Yes.
Brooke,
So,
how do you keep your life because I know you do a lot of other things too. So how do you keep yourself organized?
lists. I am so much of a list person, and I'm a control freak. So it's like I have a to-do list every day. I have a to-do list for the month, and a lot of moving parts, a lot of different people that I talk to on a daily basis to make all of these things happen.
I kind of have to have your own flow.
Yes, very.
So I think I heard you say one time we were kind of talking about before the show that there's a specific home that you're working on right now that you're designing that the interior, not just the cabinets but you're the interior designer for it.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
So whenever we start a new neighborhood, we a lot of times put a model home in it, and that would be the office that the realtor works out of for that neighborhood to sell the houses.
Oh, okay.
So we bring people in, they get to see a finished house, and that's our sales office. So with Southbridge, our new neighborhood, I got to build my model, of course, pick out everything that went in it, and then when it came time to decorate, we had an interior decorator come out, but I wanted it more personal of how my style.
You weren't liking the vibe.
Yeah, because
that she presented, or he presented.
I'm going to be there for years. So
450 homes. That's going to take a while.
So I got to change it. I got to go buy accents, new furniture, pick out paint colors.
Amazing.
I was there till 10 and 11 o'clock some nights with my friends, like hanging stuff on the walls. And then we recently had our grand opening there, and everyone loved it. So it was even more fulfilling than normal when people come in and see the model home. Like,
Right. You worked hard on it.
Yeah, like this is me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a newfound passion that I have is interior decorating.
Ah, I see that on your face. There might be a new company popping up in
Maybe.
Sumter. I love it. Being in the wedding industry, I love that whole design element too. So I know how you would have grabbed onto it and been like, I love this. I want to do this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know where you're going to put that in your portfolio because you are so busy. You're like on boards of different groups here in Sumter. Talk to me about some of those because
Yes.
there are some pretty impressive boards, impressive programs, and talk to us about it.
So I'm on the Young Professionals Board,
Yes.
and we do a lot throughout the year, various events that we plan and a lot of volunteering. So we do like the 20 under 40 event.
Yes.
And
So 20 under 40 last year was actually my wedding venue, my event
Yes.
center actually sponsored, and it was actually here at the Hive. And I loved it. It was amazing to see how many professional young people we had in the community. There was, we were expecting like this small group of people, and there was
huge.
It was huge. There are a lot of young professionals in this business,
Yes.
or in this area, with all of these really cool different businesses. So it's really cool that Young Professionals has put this group together, because I think we had over 175 people here last year. So, and I hear that it's growing.
oh, yes.
And that's why they couldn't have it at my
I
venue
know,
this year.
we wanted to. We
I
wanted
know
to have it here, but
it's getting so big.
so big.
I love that. That tells you how many new businesses are popping up in Sumter, and it's the young people.
Yes.
The up and coming generation.
I feel like it's super important to be a part of Young Professionals if you are a young professional.
What is the age group for young professionals?
So 18, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe it's 20, but to 40.
Okay. All right.
Under 40 years old. So it's nice to be around like-minded individuals, and, we can share our challenges and our successes.
Exactly.
And, have resources, if I don't know who to call about something, I can pick up the phone and call one of my other board members, and they can point me in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So
The resources there
Exactly.
through that bonded community are above and beyond what you could find anywhere else.
yes, we are the future of Sumter.
You
So-
are. Absolutely. I totally believe it. And I am not under 40, so sadly, I'm not a member. But I believe in the group so much that I told them that I'm an honorary member.
Oh, yeah. You support us a lot. We appreciate you.
We did a cornhole tournament here
Yes.
at the Hive.
Our most recent
and you guys raised a ton of money for, go ahead and talk to me about that.
School supplies for
Yes.
back to school. We actually just got back, I think it was a week or so ago, where we took a lot of the school supplies to Alice Drive. The teachers were so thankful. They just
That's
lit
amazing.
up. So, yeah, it's great.
That is great. That is great. How long are you on that board for? Indefinite.
Yeah.
You love it so much.
Yeah.
Until you turn 40.
Yeah, I guess. Or, we do have some, it's not very often that we have turnover, but if we do, it's people who are, just have gotten so big in their own business that they don't have the time to put into it, but they're still, young professional.
They're still active in the
members.
group, right.
They're just not available to put as much time in for a board member position.
Are you on any other boards?
Yes. So this one's one I'm super passionate about. So I'm a chair for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. And we put on a walk every year in Sumter to help raise money and awareness to suicide prevention. We tell everyone about the resources that, we have, and that's usually around fall time. So that one's super, super important to me. Very passionate about that one.
I actually have a family member that, it's heartbreaking, and it's so hard. You don't understand it. His name was Josh, and actually this week is the anniversary week of his passing. So I get that you would have such a passion for that, because I know that you personally dealt with suicide in your own.
I did.
Family.
Yes. So one of the most important people to me in my life committed suicide, my grandfather. And he was just a very independent person his whole life. And he had an accident, which was going to make it where he would have to be taken care of.
Right.
And he just didn't want to hinder any of our lives and have to be taken care of. So, he did that, and I struggled with it for a while.
Right.
It was very hard.
Absolutely.
You're mad and you're not understanding. You blame yourself. And then when I finally moved past that, it's just something I'm very passionate about. I have a tattoo that says, "If love could have saved you, you would have lived forever."
That's beautiful.
Just to remind me that, it was not my fault.
Right.
And
it's never our fault. It's never
never
the survivor's fault.
Yes.
And really, there's not a fault.
there's not.
There's
no.
not a fault in a suicide. And that is an amazing passion that personally, I thank you for participating in that and being in that. And I hope that people can go and find the help. And I know that's part of the program that you are part of, is they have somewhere to go.
Exactly. We have hotlines and we have various resources for people who are in that mindset. And I also think it's very important to have that here in Sumter, being that we have a military base.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of military members that struggle with mental illness and have suicidal thoughts.
Absolutely.
And we've, in the past few years, had a few cases at Shaw where people have committed suicide. So I think it's very important for everyone to have it, but especially a military community like Sumter.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Well, thank you for being on that board and sharing that personal, very special personal thing with us.
Yes.
What else do you do, busy woman?
Oh my goodness, a lot. I'm constantly volunteering for something. My boss just asked me the other day to come be part of the Touchdown Club that meets every Friday during football season. So I haven't made it to the meeting yet, but I think I'm going to go this week.
Okay. Now, what do they do? Because it's locals in Sumter, and I love to throw local Sumter stuff out.
Yes. So I think that I'm not exactly sure because I have not been yet, but I think that they recognize various members of the community that are in school that are doing well with sports.
I love it.
I believe
Okay.
that's
all right.
what
And
that
so high school.
Yes.
High school. Okay. And I mean, we cannot, there is no way that we can ever do too much for that group of kids. I mean, life can be hard for those ages. That's a tough time. It's the transition time. So it's great that there's an extra program out there for them to reach out to and have. So that's really cool.
Yes. I
really cool.
love being a part of everything.
Very cool. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's get back to your business because we are going to deep dive now, okay?
Okay.
All right. Favorite part about real estate for you?
I love being a part of one of the most major decisions of someone's life. So just like you, like with a wedding venue. So I think that the biggest times in people's life is when they get married, have a baby, and buy a house.
Yeah,
I mean,
I love
everyone
it. You're
wants
right.
that American dream. And so I get to help someone during one of the biggest times. I get to provide the knowledge they need to make a confident decision. I get to find them their dream home and, be there.
I love that.
Through that, I meet so many amazing people and form so many connections, that are like lifelong. I mean, some of my clients turn into my best friends.
love
It's
that.
not just hey, I sold you a house and we never talk again. Like,
Right.
It's an
Because
ongoing relationship.
at this point, especially these that you're doing right now, 450 houses, you're going to be there, like you said, for a while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could go have breakfast with one of them, every morning. Pick a different one.
Exactly.
Because you know all of them.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I don't think I ever looked at real estate like that, but you are absolutely right. That is a big, big decision.
And I feel like a lot of people don't realize how easy it is to buy a house. A lot of people, that's not something we learn in school. You don't learn how to buy a house.
Right.
And then they're intimidated by talking to someone. And so I love the fact that when I do get to meet these people, I get to take all of that away from them and I get to, completely give them all the information they need.
Right. So what types of information do you help supply?
So I can get them in touch with lenders, which would go over the financial side. I can kind of go over the financial side a little bit, but it's a different world. It's constantly changing. So by law, I don't go into that too deep. But I can kind of get them introduced and make them feel comfortable. But I, make the introduction to a lender where they can figure out the financial side. And then we go over, wants and needs and how houses work and the whole process of, closing and earnest money and just...
You're totally making me want to buy a house right now.
You absolutely should. Everyone should buy a house.
Well, I have 32 acres, so my husband probably doesn't want me to buy another house.
A rental home. Let's do a rental home.
Rental homes. Tell me about that. That's interesting.
So
that's a whole nother business you have.
Well, kind of. So
Okay.
real estate is the best investment anyone can have.
Okay.
I mean, if you have...
Tell me why.
Because there's a constant return on it. I mean,
Okay.
everyone always needs a house. So even if you don't personally need a house and you have the funds and you have the ability to buy a house, you should. I mean, you should buy a house and rent it out. Airbnb. I mean, huge. So I think that is...
Is that what you're doing? Maybe
something like that. Yeah. Working on a few.
450 houses going to have some Airbnbs popping up in there, maybe?
So maybe we are going to have a townhome section and duplex section.
Oh, wow.
So those are perfect for Airbnbs.
Absolutely.
And you wouldn't think that Sumter needs an Airbnb. Like you're thinking like, why would people come to Sumter and need an Airbnb?
Oh, they
normally
do.
you think of big areas, big cities. No, people need them.
Absolutely, and I know this for a fact because in the wedding industry, you have your bridal suite, and then you have the guys need a place.
Yeah.
And then you have all these people coming in from out of town for the event. So I had actually started, and actually, I don't know if you know Charlie Thompson, who is going to be a guest soon.
I do know Charlie.
Charlie has some Airbnbs.
He does, yes.
And I use him and promote him because my clients need to know this information for their wedding to be perfect and everybody have somewhere to go. So not only that, but when you try to get a hotel room, they're booked.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of hotels in Sumter.
People are in Sumter all the
They
time.
are. And again, we go back to military.
Yeah.
People come here to see the people that are here at Shaw Air Force Base. So you're right. That is a growing industry in Sumter.
Yeah. And whenever a military, I don't know how much you know about military, but whenever they come to Sumter, when they're getting stationed here, they have a 10-day window where they come here that they can search for a house if they don't buy one before they get here.
Right.
And where do you stay for 10 days with a family?
Right.
I mean, if you have 2 kids, you don't want to be in a hotel room.
Absolutely not.
So they're willing to,
to do this Airbnbs.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. We're going to be looking for your Airbnbs, okay?
Yes, you should.
Great. Okay. So you're a busy woman. Do you ever have any downtime? And what do you do?
I do. I make myself have downtime.
That's the bomb, diggity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this industry, I mean, I'm always available. I always have to be available to someone. Someone is constantly calling my phone, emailing me questions. And if I don't, put a stop to that, then it can
overwhelm.
Yeah, be very overwhelming. So I usually take about 2 days off a week, and I have someone work for me during those 2 days. And when I take more time than that, I love to travel. Love to travel. I actually woke up this morning and my memories popped up where I was in Dubai this time last year.
What?
Yes.
Tell me what you did in Dubai.
Everything. I went to the desert and rode a camel.
Okay, stop right there. Because my love for animals.
Yes.
I have to hear all about riding a camel.
Well, it's very scary. They are huge. You do not realize how big they are. Like, I thought it would be similar to riding a horse. No, they are huge. And to get on and off, they don't go down all at once. They make their front go down first and then their back. So you are completely diagonal on this camel when you're getting up on it and going down.
This camel that you don't know and don't trust.
Yes, but they're very sweet and very calm. Like, I got to lay on them to take picture. I'm laying across one for a picture. And so, yeah.
I'm totally going to have to go find that picture because that sounds so cool.
It was.
So what else did you do in Dubai? Was there any business related to that, or was that just that's how you do your downtime?
That was downtime, yeah. There wasn't any business, but it was... See, I never feel like I can get away from this. This is my passion. So even when I'm out of town, I'm constantly looking at real estate. What do they have available? How much are their, what is their price point?
Right.
So, of course, the world's tallest building is in Dubai. So I went to the tip top. Wow. Yeah, so I'm constantly still doing real estate related.
You might be
things.
international one day.
Hopefully. I'd love to
seriously,
be.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
If there was one place that you could be, where would it be?
Ooh, I feel like, oh, that's hard.
Put you on the spot.
So I love Dubai, probably my favorite vacation ever, but I also, my heart is in the European countries. So like
Yes.
Greece and Italy. So probably Europe.
Europe. Okay. And so you just named Greece and Italy. Have you been to those places?
I have been to Greece. I have not been to Italy, but
Okay.
that is
Italy is one of
my
the places
next.
on my list.
Yes.
So we'll go together. How's
Let's
that?
go. Next month. Free next month.
It's wedding season, Brooke. I have no time next month.
We'll make it happen.
Okay, sounds good. I've been to Portugal, Germany, and France, so hit those places up too because
Yes.
they're great. Portugal's amazing. I'm actually Portuguese, so that was like
yeah.
a dream to be able to go to the place that you know
is
that your
nice.
family is from. So, yeah, I've got a list too, so we need to compare lists.
Let's do it.
We're going to take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
The Hive at Lavender Estate, the sweetest place to be in Sumter, South Carolina, just off of North Main. Contact us at lavenderfieldestate@gmail.com or find us at lavenderfieldestate.com.
Greybird Media is your one-stop shop for videography, DJ services, and photo booth. Let us be a part of your next event. Find us on the web at Greybird, that's gray with a E, greybirdmedia.com.
Thanks to our sponsors, The Hive at Lavender Estate and Greybird Media. And now, back to our show.
Okay, back to business. All right. I heard you say lists. Like, is this like lists on your phone? Is this like lists in your pocket? Like, how do you do those lists? Is there an app you use? Like, give us Brooke's way of keeping all this straight because you're a busy woman and maybe somebody out there could learn from how to keep yourself organized.
Yes. So I do keep to-do lists on my phone in my notes section, but I would much rather write it down. It's so funny. I have like the old yellow legal pads.
Yes,
that-
that's old school.
Yes, and that is where I write down everything. I feel like I retain it better if I write it. So I'm constantly writing every lot number for every house and what's going on in it and, you know, what colors it has to help it stay in my mind.
Right.
And I'm writing down every day when I get to work what I need to accomplish that day. And not just making lists for myself. I make lists for everyone. So
You don't sticky note everybody, do you?
list, yeah. So my builder, so that is probably who I work with most.
Okay.
Is the builder, my builder for my community. So he's number one favorite on my phone, and so am I to his. He tells me all the time. He's like, it talks about my wife knows that you're number one favorite. 'Cause we talk 12 to 15 times a day.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
Yeah, to make all those houses work. So I'm constantly writing down a list for
For him. So is it just one builder for the whole 450?
Yeah. So each neighborhood has a superintendent or builder. And some have, you know, some builders or superintendents might have multiple neighborhoods, just like some realtors. Like I have multiple neighborhoods too. So it's kind of, we try to even out the workload between them. So, you know, my superintendent doesn't have all 10 neighborhoods in Sumter, but yes.
That's a lot. Oh my goodness. Of the 450, do you have a favorite? Besides the one that I know you work out of, like, do you have an idea of like, I know that I'm going to put one here that's going to be different, and that's probably going to be my next favorite.
So
How far along are you?
Okay, all the time. I pick out, I try to build every house with what I would want in my house. Like every house, I'm like, this would be my dream home. And so I feel like you have to love something if you're going to sell it to someone.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah, true.
You know, I try, of course I don't do, I love white cabinets, but I don't do every single one of them with white cabinets
Right.
because I know that's not everyone's favorite. But I definitely put a little of me in each house because I feel like I have to love it if I'm going to sell it to someone.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so I can't say what my favorite would be. But I'll look at the better lots and I'm like, oh, this is getting this floor plan because this is my favorite floor plan on my favorite lot.
Lot.
And then
That's pretty cool. And, you know, I've never thought about that when you think about a community like that. I've never thought that there's actually somebody behind the scenes doing that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. It's different.
It is different, but I love it because, so if you said, Brooke, I want to go see this house down the street right now, and when we're done with this, I could take you and show it to you. Mm-hmm. But when we walk in, I'm going to know the same amount of information you know. Mm-hmm. I've never walked in this house before. All I have is the listing that another realtor has put in. Mm-hmm. And I'm not confident in it. I don't know the details. But if you say, Brooke, I want to go to one of your neighborhoods and see one of your houses, mm-hmm. I built the house. I know every single thing about it. Like, mm-hmm. we walk in, I can answer any question you have, and I can feel confident in it. So it makes a huge difference.
I bet also, not only can you like give all the details of that house, but as they are talking and giving information, I bet in the back of your mind you're thinking, this isn't the house.
You need this floor plan.
I know which floor plan to take you to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like you have your own personal shopper for a house.
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I've bought a house before, but it wasn't in a community like yours. So I could see where there was value to having someone like you when you're in that process of buying a home. Absolutely.
I think it's very beneficial to the buyer.
Mm-hmm. It's a whole different way to buy a house. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Stress-free.
Stress-free. Well, not for you.
No, I make it stress-free for the buyer too.
Yeah, that's great.
It should be. I mean, but house buying should be fun and exciting and not stressful for a buyer. Right. So,
what's the most stressful part, do you think, that people get hung up on when buying a house?
I think trying to know which one is right for them and not buy the wrong one, or not think, have buyer's remorse because a better one came along. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like it's very important to show everyone every single option they have, so that they can feel confident with the decision that they're making.
Right.
So
again, personal shopper.
Exactly.
That's what I'm going to start calling you, Brooke, the personal shopper, because now I totally have a different view on what you do. I thought you were just a real estate agent, but you are so much more.
Now, I do still dabble with normal real estate.
Yeah.
Of course. So seeing my same houses over and over, even we have different neighborhoods that have different floor plans, but I know them in and out. So, of course, I like to dabble with normal real estate and go see a historic house one that has, 12 acres and, different features that ours don't. So I definitely dabble in that too.
And I bet you get ideas from that.
Yes, for sure.
Historic houses, that would be so cool to do.
Yes.
You could just be like,
have so much character.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my favorite. That's why my favorite resale to show is a historic house. Mm-hmm.
Is there a large amount of historic stuff that comes up in Sumter for purchase? Or are you going out of Sumter?
So there is a historic district in downtown Sumter, but there's not a lot of turnaround in that area. Pretty much the people that live there stay there.
Because it's an amazing place to live.
Exactly. And they are locals. They're not as much military, so they're not constantly, moving. So it's hard, but the moment I see a historic house come up for sale, even if I don't have a buyer, I'm going to look at it.
You jump on it. Yeah. That's awesome. Next time you go, grab me, okay?
Yes.
Because I love stuff like that. We'll go together. Awesome. So I heard you say earlier that like you have someone that'll work for you when you like take time off. So do you have any employees, or do you work within ReMax other agents? How does all that work?
So I have a model home that I'm in charge of, and someone has to be there 7 days a week.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
From 11 to 6 every day, and then 1 to 6 on Sunday. So if I am not physically there, I have to pay someone to work there.
Okay.
And so obviously I can't be there 30 days a month. So I have realtors that are realtors at ReMax. You do have to have a license, but I will grab realtors from ReMax and kind of take them under my wing and teach them this new construction life.
Right.
And they will work with me at the model homes and in hopes to eventually get their own neighborhood as well.
Okay.
So whenever we get new neighborhoods, that have model homes, then we pull from inside first. So they get to come with me and train and learn this side of real estate because it's very different. It's not normal.
So you're a mentor, Brooke.
Yes.
That's the word you need to use, not teacher. You're a mentor to these young people. And we're going right back to your passion with the young professionals
Yes.
of Sumter. So here you are pulling these young people in, teaching them, being a mentor. Who was your mentor?
So my aunt, Sylvia Holiday, she is a realtor here in Sumter.
I know Sylvia.
Yes. So I was actually didn't know that I wanted to be a realtor. I was in nursing school.
What? A whole nother ball game.
Very different. And you can't hold a job in nursing school. Like it's so much work, especially when you start clinicals. So I had recently quit my job to start clinicals, but there was a little bit of wait time before that semester started. So Sylvia said, hey, why don't you get real estate license? It's something you could do on the side. Like you have the personality for it. And I was like, sure, never thinking I was going to
use it
for
the life.
No, never thinking that. I fully thought I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist. Well, I got my real estate license and I was like, wait, this is my passion. Like I have always drawn houses as a child, like looked at houses. I mean, that was my favorite thing to do. So as soon as I started and I realized this is my passion, then it just jumped right in, and luckily I've been successful in it. So.
Absolutely. What is the biggest lesson you learned from Sylvia?
So I'm a control freak. I'm very much a control freak. But I've learned that there are things that are outside of my control. So, and I have to accept that. You know, I cannot, no matter how much I try, I can't, make sure everything runs smoothly all the time. Because it's not me who's in charge of everything.
Right. Things are going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Things are going to happen.
Things outside of my control. So she keeps me, even to this day, realizing that, I have to be okay with the things that I can't control.
Yeah, some things are out of the box that you can't reach.
Exactly.
So what's been the biggest blow up that you've been like, oh, I want to fix this so bad, but it's not you're not able to control it?
So with new construction, when COVID happened, we took a huge hit. And I don't mean sales so much. I mean, we were still selling houses. People were still coming in and out of Sumter. It would just looked a little different. Like I was FaceTiming and taking pictures and videos. I did a lot of sight unseen selling of houses.
Wow.
Which is a whole different ballgame. But
that's crazy to me.
Yes.
Okay.
People do it. And but as far as the actual building side of it, I mean, there are labor issues. We don't have enough trades to work. Especially material shortages. I mean, huge material shortages. So we went from having this build time that I was used to of like 120 days to like 7 months.
And it's a huge difference.
Huge, yes. So that was very hard for me to accept and to be okay with.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's hard. When people come, people don't really look for houses 7 months in advance, Right. People are looking, they want a house within a few months.
Exactly.
So,
because most people sell what they have before they move, so they have to have that plan, and they can't live in a hotel with 4 kids, like you said, for months. So, hey, there's your B&B.
Yep.
We're pulling it all together for you. She's like, girl, I already knew what I was doing with that. You didn't have to tell me.
But yeah, that was very hard. Luckily, we're getting back to normal now. Thankfully, we're going back to our normal build times, and everything's coming back together. But that's how it's been for the past few years. It's been a little different than I'm used to. So,
yeah. Well, it still sounds like you jumped on what you needed to jump on. Like you took it to the next level. You knew, you worked through it. You worked through the process.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing with a lot of people with COVID is they just wanted to stop and continue to be stopped. But once they gave us that green light, it was time to move again.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the more successful businesses that made it through COVID, it's because they did that. They did that planning and that work on that downtime. What kind of planning and work did you do during downtime to get going when it started back?
Yeah, I out in my neighborhoods every day, even during COVID. I mean, no one else was there, but I was there.
Right.
And I'm walking my houses, making sure that I know exactly what each house has in it. I was thinking of marketing ideas. I mean, I was doing video walkthroughs so that people could see stuff before they came and didn't feel like they had to come in person, pictures. I mean,
It was totally out of the box. You went
Very.
so that you could jump back in it.
exactly.
I love that.
And a lot of my business is meeting with people, not only meeting to show houses, but we do open houses for other realtors so they know what products we have so they can help us sell.
Nice.
We do a lot of events, like promoting events, where we'll have food trucks come out and just try to get the public and to come and look at our neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And we haven't been able to do that for the last few years because of COVID, but we're starting back now. So I had to think outside of the box. I mean, sending out postcards to neighborhoods.
Doing old school stuff because that's the only thing you could do to keep people interested.
Social media.
Social media is big, and it only blew up during COVID because everybody was on it.
Yeah.
This whole TikTok thing, we all learned what TikTok was when, it was COVID time, and we all get stuck on it sometimes.
Oh,
We know the
do.
love and laughter of it. So
I can't make a TikTok, but I can
haven't
watch
either.
it.
I know I haven't either, but I can watch it for that giggle time that I
Exactly.
need, because people can do some crazy things. What's the craziest thing you've seen in real estate in your time in real estate?
Ooh. I've seen a lot of crazy houses. I've seen people, sometimes it amazes me what people will take pictures of inside of a house. I mean, most recently, my friend sent me a listing off of, a website, and they had like a statue of a man and a woman, like a cutout cardboard in their front yard, and that was on their like pictures for the listing.
Interesting.
Which is really creepy. And people,
Okay, fun fact, people do creepy things at their own house, okay?
Very.
We will list that as creepy house people.
yes.
Run from those, Brooke. Run from those, okay?
Yes.
What does your absolute favorite client look like? Like, tell me, who is your perfect client? If I'm that person and I hear you talking right now, how do I know you're the one I need to come to?
Ooh, okay. I love a first-time home buyer.
Okay.
It sounds unconventional because they are the ones that know nothing. So I feel I have to do more work than normal. But I feel most fulfilled when I work with a first-time home buyer.
Right.
Because I'm giving them all the knowledge. Like, they didn't know anything. And they're the most appreciative when you're done.
Love it.
And, yeah. So I feel like it's more of a challenge to work with a first-time home buyer, and I love to be challenged. So,
Love it.
yeah.
Okay. So,
But I also have to have the not first time mixed in there, or I would, go crazy.
it would be a lot of work if you didn't mix that in there.
Exactly.
That's just kind of like your favorite and the one that you work the best with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Talk about challenges in your life that have kind of set back your business. And then what did you do to say, I can't let this happen. I need to move forward. Like, what's been your biggest challenge?
So this is on a sadder note,
Okay.
but obviously I'm extremely busy with this job. I have to be available all the time. People constantly calling, texting, emailing. So I get some time off, but it's not much.
Right.
Well, about 2 years ago, my mom got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and
sorry.
overnight, my life had to completely change. I mean, I could not be as available as I
Right.
needed to be. I was constantly taking her back and forth to appointments, and aside from that, needing to spend time with her because, we knew what was going to happen.
Right.
So at first, I tried to move forward, like keep it going how I was, and I realized that was not possible. I was not giving my clients the best that they deserved.
Right.
So I felt like I needed to let everyone know. I'm very private normally, so I don't tell people a lot of stuff that's going on in my personal life, because I don't want someone to feel bad. I
Right.
don't want sympathy for anything, So I finally got the courage, and I made a Facebook post that said, this season of my life, I do have to calm down with real estate.
Right.
You know, I am still here and I'm still able to help some people, but I might not get back to you as fast as I normally would. I might not be able to show you a house on this day if I have something else going on, because
Absolutely.
I have this very important thing in my life going on.
Right.
And so I shared that with the world, and the amount of support I got was insane. I thought that I was just going to lose a lot of business. I
Nope.
thought that people were just going to, you know, if I don't answer the phone today and I don't call you back within a certain amount of time, you're going to call someone else, you know?
Because there's a lot of people out there that do real estate.
We, as a society, love instant gratification.
You're right.
And so if I'm not constantly checking my emails or calling people back, I do lose out on a lot of business. So I thought that was going to happen whenever, you know, I had to slow down.
Right.
And the opposite. I mean, people were so supportive and let me show houses for you, other realtors. I will not take your clients, but I will show them, or, you know,
Amazing.
it was great.
So it sounds like that was like the real estate community sounds like it's really great.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And your mother,
She did pass away.
and I know that you enjoyed being able to spend that extra time with her. That was so very important.
Very much.
My mother passed away 5 years ago, so I understand where you wanted to spend that time with her. And
yeah.
that's probably some of the best memories you have.
Absolutely. And I feel very blessed that I did have a career where I could do that
Yes.
with. Because if I worked a normal 9 to 5, I mean, that wouldn't have been as possible.
Right.
So I was able to completely, step back for days at a time. And when she did pass, I was able to take that time. And so I'm very thankful that I am in this industry where I can do those things if I need to.
Right, exactly. We are so sorry about the loss of your mom.
you.
But I can tell you now that I know that she was an amazing woman because look at what she raised.
Thank you.
And again, so thankful that you were in an industry that not only helped you out, but like you just said, was something you could kind of balance. And
Exactly.
and there's a lot of careers out there that you can do that. And that's why small business is like so important.
It is.
Because you set your hours.
Exactly.
You set your timelines. You set what's going to happen next in your life. So you said, hey, this is important, number one, and moved on. But took, I know, the courage and the strength and moved on with that extra courage and strength. And that is probably why you're at where you're at right now.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And it definitely taught me about balance. You know, it taught me that, sometimes I can go overboard and work too much and not have that downtime. And it taught me that I definitely do need to make sure I'm at my family events and make sure that it's okay to say no to people. It's
Right.
okay if I have, a birthday dinner for my family to not take this client to see a house.
Right.
And if they decide to go somewhere else while they're waiting for me, then that's fine. You can't have every single person as a client. So
not every single person fits with you either as a client. As
very
we
true.
talked about earlier, there is a persona of person that fits with each type of real estate agent.
absolutely.
So that's the same thing with the wedding industry. Like you can have 10 tours and you can almost look at the people and talk to them and say,
And know if
I
they're gonna-
know that they are not my style.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with you because you are going to show the style of house that you like. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be able to, you can tell, can't you, that those people are not that type style.
Exactly.
And I assume that you can pass them off to another real estate agent that is
yeah.
that type of
Yes.
real estate agent.
So what's really cool about real estate is we are constantly referring different clients to each other. When we have new realtors at ReMax, I love to give my leads to them that I can't work, that I don't
Right.
have time for. And so it's constantly referring back and forth.
Right.
So that's really nice.
It is nice. It sounds like a family.
It is.
Within itself.
Yes.
ReMax has always gotten good reviews. And like, how did you choose them over all the other?
Okay, so I was only 19 years old. And I
So
didn't...
you're still a baby.
Oh, yeah. Especially when I got into real estate, it was hard because no one took me seriously. Even, love my family, but even my family, it was right after my grandpa passed away and his house had to be put up for sale, and they ended up listing with another realtor that had been in the hunting club with them their whole lives. And I remember feeling so upset about that. because I was like, why would they not let me list this house?
Right.
But I was a month out of real estate school, and looking back, I'm thankful they didn't, because I don't like, I would rather not work with family.
Yeah.
But
Bingo.
yeah, I would rather not work with family, but I remember feeling so hurt and realizing that, you know, people don't like to support young people when it comes to very professional
Right.
things.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a challenge I faced a lot. I mean, people would come in to sign contracts with me after talking on the phone or over email, and they would finally meet me, and they would be like, who is this kid?
Right.
And so that was definitely a challenge at first,
Mm-hmm.
overcoming and making people see me as
An
a
adult.
professional when I
Professional.
was only 19.
Right.
So anyway, when I got into real estate, Sylvia worked at ReMax.
Okay.
And
Coming back to our mentor.
Yes, and she brought me in to interview with the broker in charge there.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew a lot of my family and knew my grandfather and had been the city manager. And I just felt like, you know, this guy is really connected in Sumter, and he almost, like, I feel comfortable with him, and I look at him as a grandfather. And
Wow.
so I knew it was the right place, and I haven't left since.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. I heard you say the word hunt club.
Yes.
Explain that to me, because you are this professional, put together beauty. Explain hunt club.
Okay. So my family, my whole life, my uncles and brother and everyone, all the men, have always been into hunting. So
Which is huge in Sumter.
very, very. So they are president and vice president of a hunting club here in Sumter.
Okay.
And so grew up every weekend going to the swamp, which is what we call it, but that's the hunting club.
That's great.
And riding four-wheelers and cookouts and, you know.
And that's Sumter to me.
It
like,
is.
That is like the hometown of Sumter. Like, most people think Sumter is just an Air Force base.
Yeah.
But it's so much more.
So
The
much
community is so much more. And I'm just sitting here looking at you thinking, you know, boots and I don't see it, but okay.
Yeah, it's,
I understand it, because I do the same thing with, you know, but you're just so put together and classy, and it's cool that you transition into something else. And
Yes.
I'm assuming you do that with your family, because I know you're not married.
yes.
So I assume you do a lot with your family. Probably.
I do. It is me and my brother, and he just recently had a daughter, so my niece.
Look at you,
Love
a whole
her.
new role.
Oh my goodness. So I do a lot with my family, especially now that my mother has passed away. I mean, I always have, but she was kind of the hierarchy of our family, and
The glue that put it all together.
I kind of had to step into that role very fast, because it is my brother and my uncles and then me. And then, of course, I have cousins, and, you know, that my uncles have girlfriends and stuff like that. But I'm the kind of the woman now, so I
Yeah.
have to make all the plans and.
I love it. And
Yeah.
spoil that little baby.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Brooke, it was a pleasure to have you here.
This was so fun. Thank
It
you.
was fun. I told you we were going to have a great time. One last time, tell everybody where they can find you.
Google. You can Google me.
Yep.
Billboard, signs,
Ooh,
everywhere.
she's on a billboard. That's awesome. Brooke, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode of Business Gold. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you tune in again. We release new episodes every Tuesday, so definitely come back. And while you're here watching on YouTube, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and reach out to us at podcast.businessgold@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.